There, buddy. Ain't working worth shit, is it? I don't know. It's me. It's Bob. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's better. Oh, okay. You get a chain right in the middle. Yeah, that's the chain that holds up my table. It's one of those things. Whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna look at my big screen. Camera's over there. I don't know what the hell to do. Anyway, I'm still alive. I've been offline for a while, mostly because fuck, man, it's tough here up in Canada. I mean, literally, I don't have a vehicle licensed right now. Can't afford to. What I get on my disability just makes it, you know, I can feed myself. Well, it helps that I go hunt. So I got a deer this year, so I got meat, for a couple of months. Um, I also adopted another dog, which is like, American. What the hell is he? He's an American. Um, Crap. Someone told me. But he was a rescue from a Indian reservation, and then a friend of mine had him, and then he couldn't keep him because he was moving. So he's an American Mastiff. That's it, American Mastiff. So it's good. He's the same size as Charlie. Um, 150 pounds thereabouts, just like a nice sized dog. Um, and Lucy loves him. Lucy's my um, Aussie Doodle, who's an Australian crossed with a Australian Shepherd crossed with a standard poodle. So she's like 70 pounds. So just like normal sized dogs, right? I just don't like little dogs. I mean, I do like little dogs. I think they're cute and they're really cuddly, but they're just like useless dogs. Like these guys are, well, not like they do anything, right, Mikey? They're, but you know, when the world when the world comes to the end, I know my dogs will be able to fucking survive, and purse dogs won't. Anyway, the only reason I want to make this video is a friend of mine went to Jamaica, came back with a bottle of rum, and I'm like, fucking awesome. I looked after her little dogs while she was gone, so she brought me back a bottle of rum, and man, Jamaican rum is really good. I always heard it was crappy rum, but that was just from Easterners, and apparently they only, people in Newfoundland and New Brunswick, they only get really crappy rum from Jamaica. I don't know, it's a whole historical thing. But yeah, this is really good rum. So I thought, I'll just make a video talking about how good this rum is. Hi, Mikey. That's Mikey. Yeah, I know we can even see him. But he's like putting his head on my knee because he's a weird, really needy dog. This Mikey's the American Mastiff, and he's just the biggest sweetheart in the world. Come here, come here. Oh, let me get your feet. Oh, Jesus, you're a big dog. I don't know. Can you kind of see the top of him? Hang on, I'll see if I can turn my camera down a bit. Oh, okay. That's Mikey. He's my newest. There, Lucy is actually behind him. Come here. Up. Lucy, up. Come here. All right. So, Mikey's my newest baby. And he's like a friend of mine's dog that he said, can you look after him for the next 4 or 5 years? And I'm like, oh, what's the matter? Oh, what is that, buddy? He's got his throat right up against my chair arm, so that's probably why. Lucy's behind him. That's Lucy. Yeah, you can kind of see her behind him. These are my dogs. Anyway. Why was I making this video? Damn it. Oh, yeah, it was something to do with, we got a bottle of rum. Yeah, I looked after my friend's dog and got a bottle of rum. Yeah, the bearded guy. Oh, man, no, I'm the bearded guy, actually. Actually, I do remember the bearded guy. Oh, yeah, thank you. Merry Christmas to you, too. I just love saying Merry Christmas. But where I live, it's like everybody's just like, oh, yeah, Merry Christmas, man. Because, like I live in southern Saskatchewan, right on the border with Minot. So it's like everybody's just like, yeah, we're normal here. Oh, Mad Sexy. Oh, God, that's you? Oh, well, you know what? I like the bearded guy. That's a good name. Oh, God, Sasquatches. I don't even want to talk about them. Like everybody says they're not real. They're fucking real. Like, I have no doubt. Like, and I've spent a lot of time in the north. So, yeah. Hi, sweetie. Yes, Mikey. I'll keep petting you. Dogs are really needy, especially these guys. Well, Mikey's been shot. This guy's been shot twice. Once with a 22 and once with a buckshot out of a shotgun. So, yeah, he's a special boy. Yes, you are. You're a special. He's really ugly too. Like you look at that. That is a monstrous looking dog, and yet he's the biggest baby in the world. He really is. He's just a sweetheart though. So yeah, I mean, my friend couldn't keep him, and it's like, oh, you're not gonna give him up for adoption. Like, oh, I'll just take him because I already got a bunch of dogs. So why not? I have a 400. No, it's more than that. It's maybe 500 square foot trailer. I can have 3 giant dogs. Well, actually, Lucy's not giant. She's only what 70 pounds. Who punched you? Oh, so yes, Scotch. You know what? I really don't care if my wife shaves, if they're a little hairy. But no, I mean, there's a point where you're. Well, if you grow a beard, I mean. Show you guys the rest of my trailer. The rest of my trailer is it's just silly, right? Because I had to pull a carpet out because I was looking after a friend's basset hound that was old and kind of incontinent, and he messed all over the carpet. So I pulled all the carpet out. So it's like, as soon as I can afford to, I'm going to, like, redo the floors. Although I keep thinking that, it's a trailer. read this. You know what? Much as I now dislike my ex-wife, we had 30 years together, and boy, I really loved her, and I still do. I mean, it's part of the problem with, you know, something like that. After that many years with one person, it's just like I never imagined myself being single ever. Like, I mean, we waited 10 years before we had kids because, you know, I wanted to make sure. And then, you know, but, you know, my fault. I wasn't paying attention to her, and I don't know. Shit happened. I started to, like, I think it really happened when Trump got elected. I really do. Because, like, when Trump got elected, I went, well, I don't like him as a person, but I think he might be okay as a president. And she fucking lost her shit. Hey, DJ, man. Yeah, everything's fine. I mean, living on, like, unfortunately, I had a big pension, but through lawyers and divorce and all that, I lost all that. So I, you know, had to go on disability. Because one of the reasons I retired early was because I had wrecked my shoulders and shit. I mean, you can't really tell, but yeah, I went from being, you know, 170 pounds of mostly, you know, muscle to now I think I'm down to 150 pounds of, uh, well, mush. But, you know, that's kind of shit that happens, yeah. Mikey. See, the dog's really concerned because I'm talking to nothing. And when I start talking to just myself, the dogs get concerned. Dogs are so weird. Well, they're not weird. They're just, dogs love you no matter what. Well, I guess if you beat them, they probably wouldn't love you, but I don't ever beat these guys. They're my best friends. They really are. Um, they saved my life after my divorce. I got Charlie, and he saved my life. Just because I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna die. Like, because my divorce brought on a massive heart attack, and I had to get all kinds of surgery done and shit. And I'd just gone through a bunch of surgery for my shoulders, so yeah, I was messed right up, and it took, you know, years to get over that. And you know, now I'm just like, yeah, well, whatever. But my friend went away for a couple weeks. I have a friend in town here that, um, you know, it's just like friend. It's a female friend, but we're not like girlfriend boyfriend because we don't have sex together or anything. So, um, but we're just really good friends. I mean, other than my buddy that I've known since I was 13, she's like my second best friend. So, really good friend. And she went away for a couple weeks and I had to look after her little dogs. And so, you know, she went to Jamaica and she came back and she brought me a bottle of rum. And I haven't drank forever. And yeah, I've been having a couple of drinks of rum. And I thought, you know, damn it, I should do a video. Because I still got some data left on my phone. So I'm doing all this on my phone. So Kind of cool. Then I can't believe people actually are still like getting notifications that I'm having a video. Yes, Mikey. Mikey has just become my buddy. I don't know. He really likes me. It's really nice to have a dog that really loves you. Oh, I'm doing great, man. It's I hate to say it, but I remember getting divorced was okay for me anyway. I never liked like crowds and people. My ex was really into parties and functions and shit. She was really into the, I don't know, she did all this lefty stuff with politics stuff, and I didn't care one way or the other. I was just kind of like, man, I just want to hunt and fish and, you know, so yeah, apparently me being pro right wing, I don't know. I never used to think I was right wing, and it turns out I really am. But I was raised that way. Like my parents went through the depression. Like my dad was in World War II. My grandpa was in World War One. I mean, I grew up as a just being taught you just work as hard as you can and everything will be fine. And go around with some of her family? Really? I don't know. I haven't thought about my ex-wife's sister, but she lives in Ottawa, and that's way too far away. I have no problem with driving to Arizona, but driving to Ottawa, I'm just like, nah, I'm not going to bother with it. And I won't fly anymore because, like, it's stupid. And I refuse to go through all that crap. I remember getting on an airplane with a gun. Oh, well, I spanked my daughter, but she was 9 and she just kicked her brother in the head. But, that was kind of the last time I ever hit a girl. And it was a spanking. And, if you're a dad, it's really hard to spank your daughter hard. So it's kind of like, don't kick your brother in the head again. He was unconscious for 10 minutes. Hey, hi, Desert Pioneer, man. How you doing? What are you going on about? The old dog woke up and he's like kind of retarded, and well, he's like, I think in human years he's 100 and I don't know 120. He's like in dog year, he's 160-pound dog, and he's turning 16 this year. So that makes him about like I don't know 110, 120 in dog years. But he's senile as fuck. He's mostly blind. But he still goes up and down the stairs into the, to the back dog run, and he beats the crap out of Mikey. Like him and Mikey have fought over bones, and he wins. It's kind of surprising, but I'm just like I don't know. I just hope he makes it till spring because it'd be really, really hard to dig a hole in the backyard to bury them in the winter. The problem with Canada is the ground freezes down to 2 feet, and if you've ever tried to dig through frozen ground, it's not good. Oh, look, you get to see Mikey. Mikey. Who's a baby? Mikey's such a baby. That's probably why Charlie's getting all like, oh, fist to face. Oh yeah, no, I've never punched a woman in the face. Have I ever punched a woman in the face? And let me think. It's been a long life. Nope, 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 nope. Wanted to a whole bunch of times, but usually if I'm gonna punch a woman in the face, what I'll like, well, the only time I ever punched a woman, I punched him in the shoulder instead. Remember how we used to do that game in school where you punch a buddy in the shoulder? So high desert. Yeah, I do like to go to Arizona in the winter, and I even have my passport and everything now. But problem is my RV is like iffy, and I've really like I don't know why I bought an RV. Um, I don't know. I had weird thoughts going on in my head, but I've decided I'm not gonna do an RV. I think I'm gonna find a trailer, like a tow behind trailer, but a 24 footer, and then I'm just gonna take my Ranchero and pull that and stick my bike in the back because I want my motorcycle. I'm not going down there with just truck again. It so sucks all that beautiful weather, and I can't ride a motorcycle. So yeah, and I gotta redo the brakes on the motorcycle because they all fell apart because it's been sitting too long, and then brake lines rotted. So anyway, I got a lot of shit to do. I've now like realized that yeah, I'm probably not gonna do that until I'm 70, but that's not that you know, uh, 5 6 years. Oh no, actually 5 years. Okay, 5 years. I'll head back to Arizona with the Ranchero, my Kawasaki KZ in the back of the Ranchero, and then pulling like a 24-foot. I'd like to find an Airstream, but they're really expensive. So just whatever 24-foot trailer I could find because that's a nice size. And I don't even know what the circle game is, man. Oh, you know what? I thought about just riding my bike down there. Yeah, I still have the Ranchero. I actually found all the parts for it. Really weird. I spent at least 10 years looking for trim parts to do the because I'm a fucking idiot, right? So I get this Ranchero Squire and I restore it completely, so it's just like new, and then I get nothing but every time I took it out. This is no shit. 3 accidents, and they were all within about 3 or 4 weeks of driving the car after the restoration. I take it out, drive it. 3 weeks later, or within that 3 week period, somebody had smack into me, and it happened 3 times. And the third time it happened, I couldn't find the parts anymore. Oh no, 429. Last year, the 429 was put in cars, 1973. So yeah, last time I got smacked, I couldn't find the parts. The insurance company fucked me. Um, But here I am, like after all the shit goes on with divorce and everything else, I'm living out here, and this guy I met who was just into cars. I met him at this like little small town car show, and we were talking cars, and I mentioned I had this Ranchero. He fucking drops over and says, "Oh hey, I found another '73 Ranchero Squire in this guy's fucking yard, and I think he's gonna sell it." So I went and fucking talked to the guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah." And I said, "Can I buy the parts? Because I only needed the trim parts. I already had the fender and all that shit." And he's like, "Well, I kind of want to sell the whole car." And I was like, "I don't know. $600. Well, $600 when you're living on, pennies because you lived on disability." I was like, "I don't know, man. That's..." So I kind of put it off. Uh, so yeah, I know. Like that's what I don't understand. Like my 429, if I drove it like a white man, and I know it's really racist, but if I drove it, 55, 60 miles an hour, didn't put my foot in it, it got 18, 19 miles to the gallon. Well, I got a 3/4 ton Dodge that I, normally drive. It gets 18, 90, maybe 20 miles to the gallon. And that's with a 5.7 Hemi. That's a smaller motor. Now it's a heavier vehicle, but the funny thing is, a Ranchero will carry 1,600 pounds, same as a standard half ton. Yet it's a car, apparently. Um, you know what? Cleveland's are, I hate them. they're they're such a stupid motor. I don't mean to be, but God, I hate them because I've got a 351 in my Mercury Montego. Like I got a Mercury Montego I drive sometimes. It's just because after the divorce, I got it. Anyway, it was in the garage as a that was a project to build that we could take the whole family to car shows in, and never got done. But I hauled it home, and it still ran and shit. So I ended up. I mean, I still drive it because it costs $100 a year to license. But yeah, it's a '75 Mercury Montego with 351. Now it's, they call it a Michigan, but it's basically a Cleveland that got neutered when they fucked with it to make it more efficient. But yeah, I hate that motor. I hate that car. I hate. Well, I don't hate the car. I mean, the car is kind of basically a Trino, but I hate the motor. I hate it. It's just it's gutless. It's it's just oh, it gives me so much grief. Like right now, it hasn't started and run for like 3 months because the battery's low. And you charge the battery right up, and it'll kind of start, and it'll run for a while. But boy, if it doesn't start on the first catch, well, then the battery's going to go dead, and then it's just because it's a terrible motor. I hate 351 Michigans or M's. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. People don't realize you can get really good. The bearded man. um, you can get really good mileage with old cars. And I don't understand why people buy new cars. I'm drinking more rum, by the way. Um, but people buy new cars and they're stupid. I mean, knowing what I know now, I would I would buy an old restored car. Well, I've never bought a really new car. I mean, I guess my truck was new and the wife's Fiat was new, but I'd never buy a really old or a really new car. Like, I mean, I've been telling all my friends because I got in this little town I live in. It's really funny when you live in a small town. People you get to know a lot of people. Um, but I've been trying to explain to them that rather than buy a new vehicle, you're better off to find somebody who's restored an old vehicle. Buy that. It'll cost you like a half the money, and you end up with a better vehicle. It'll last longer. It's easier to rebuild. It's easier to fix. Well, DJ, if you want a nice old Mercury, like basically the Starskin Hutch car, I got the car for you. And I've actually got a. Oh, that's good. I've got a 460 for it. Because they used to come with 460s. Mm, yeah, I never had dual carbs on a car. I always do like single four barrel. But I loved punching it and hearing those secondaries come in. I had a 73 Charger and I pulled the 400. Well, I blew the 400 up and I put a 383 Police Interceptor from a 1968 cop car in it. God, that thing was amazing. It was so fast. It was terrifying. Eh? Like 140 miles an hour, I got clocked at by the cops. And I wouldn't have got caught except I was didn't even know they clocked me and I'd stopped like, you know, 20 minutes later to get lunch and they'd been chasing me apparently. And the cops pulled in and saw the car and, came to me in the restaurant and went, "Arr," here's your ticket. You were speeding. Oh, 460s are just amazing motors. They're torque monsters, right? It's like, oh, you got 230 horsepower, but you got 450 foot-pounds of torque. Oh, my Ranchero is nuts. With that 429, it's crazy. Like, you just sit at a light. You can sit at a traffic light and it turns green. You just step on the gas. The back tires just go up in smoke. And you're not even punching it, right? You're just giving it gas, trying to be, reasonable. Oh, my brother had a 73 351 Cleveland Ranchero GT, 4 speed. He like kept it until it rotted basically. Oh, he did that with a bunch of his vehicles. I got my old man's truck back from him. It's a 75 crew cab F-250, loaded to the tits, right? It's got air, it's got all the power shit on it. And my old man had that for pulling his camper. And he wouldn't sell it to me because apparently he was mad at me because I'd wrecked the first new vehicle he'd ever bought in his life. A long story. Um, but My brother got it, and he hit a deer with it, and it broke the grill and did some other shit. And then he, didn't want to bother to fix it, so it sat in his. Thank you, Ura, yeah. Um, but it sat in his driveway for 20 years. Honest to God, 20 fucking years. It sat in his driveway. He finally gave it to me, and I had nowhere to put it, so I hauled it to my buddy's place, and it's sitting there. I'm gonna have to haul it out. It's just rotted to shit though, but I mean it's still a, 3/4 ton Ford, like mid 70s. It's a what do they call it? It's got the ridges on it, so like it's 75 Ford. It's been all redone with a 460, and yeah, it's a really nice truck, but because it's all rusted out, it's I'm just gonna I'm gonna haul it home as soon as I get rid of some of the vehicles I have at my place already, because I got too many vehicles here already. So yeah, I gotta get rid of something. The Ranchero, or well, I'm not gonna get rid of the Ranchero. That I'm keeping. That's my son's. Um, what do you call it? When you oh crap, I don't know. Anyway, it's what I'm leaving my son is the Ranchero. Leaving my daughter the motorcycle, which is really cool. My daughter's always said she wanted the motorcycle, so she gets that. It's a 1980 Kawasaki KZ1000J, which is the highest horsepower motorcycle in the world at the time. So it's got like 145 horsepower, I think. No. So yeah, I'm gonna keep a couple things for my kids. Other than that, I'm kind of getting rid of everything to get ready. It's the end of the world's coming, boys, girls, everybody. It really is. We're on the downslope of humanity, so we have to. Now it might not be completely the end. I'm sure humans will survive, but there's something coming here. We know that. Just look at what's going on in the world, and you got to realize that, man, we're screwed. But I don't know. So anyway, kind of glad I did this. Do a video. Um, my channel's gonna die if I don't do shit. Canada's done. I mean, I'm at the point where I think all I can do is work towards going south. See you, DJ. Man, it was really good to see you again, hear from you. I didn't think anybody was actually listening anymore. Yep. Well, can't really carry them in Canada, not legally, but only the criminals get to carry guns in Canada. But yeah, party on, man. World's crazy right now. I mean, it really is. we're looking at I don't know, it might be end times, but I keep thinking that a lot of people have been talking about how this is a simulation, right? We're not in a real world because it's crazy, right? Think about like who was the first guy to get into the Tesla after Tesla died? First guy to get in there and get hold of his papers and shit. You know who it was? It was Donald Trump's ancestors. I mean, this is crazy, man. Donald Trump is president, was president. I kind of think he probably should still be. Man, America's gone downhill since they elected that fucking senile fool. Um, Canada's being run by a fucking lunatic, and it's crazy, man. I really don't follow enough European politics to know to know what's going on. But oh, Elon Musk. I mean, he might be the savior, but I don't know what to believe anymore. I I like I've seen him talk. I've seen him on Joe Rogan. I've seen him on other shows. And yes, he is a little odd. He's autistic, definitely. But I know autistic people, and they're good people. I I I don't have a problem with him. I would actually like to meet him and shake his hand and say, "Hey, man, you want to go to Mars? I'll go." Like, I mean, I might be the first person buried on Mars, or maybe buried on space on the way there. But I would love to go. I think he needs to have people like me, like rednecks who can make shit work out of nothing. Because you want to see somebody build something out of nothing, I can do that. Give me a bunch of scrap steel, I'll weld it up and make it into a mud flap or whatever, right? But man, the world's crazy right now. I've never seen anything like this. It is just so weird, the connections between people that are from history to what's going on today, and just the weird shit that's going on. I know there's always been connections between um, people from history and people from today, but man, something's going on. It's either a simulation or or there's God. I prefer to think, yeah, there's a God. I know there is. I don't do like religion in a organized way, but yeah, damn right, I believe in a God, and he's either got a really good sense of humor or he's just fucking with us. But I talk to him every night. Um, I don't actually get an answer from him or anything like that. I just, you know, ask him to look after my friends and shit. I'm not crazy. Um, but oh god, no, sound like a lunatic. I'm really not. But the shit going on in the world, like I know there's always been like all these wars and shit, but something's different. Really is. It feels like because I've been paying attention to this shit since Nixon and Watergate. I remember that as a little kid going, wow, that sounds crazy, and paying attention to the news. And now it's gotten worse. Not just the Nixon Watergate kind of crap where the politicians are fucking with each other. I don't care about that. But it seems like they're trying to get rid of people. I don't like that. I shit's going on with the sun. A lot of people don't understand that, but the sun is going through changes. The sun, not my son, not your son, the sun. Um, Most people, if you actually think about it, you'll notice that the sun's changed color, and it is doing different stuff. If you go look it up, you can see that the sun is doing different stuff. So I think we're going to find out that the government's known about this for a while. I think that might be part of why they're trying to thin the herd. Because, if shit really goes bad, they know they're only going to be able to take so many people. And, in their minds, it's all completely good thing that they, pick the people they want. They're gonna. Anyway, we're screwed. So let's just all live our best lives ever. Yep. Yep. Nothing we can do, man. The world is going to experience whatever the sun says we're going to experience. And man, I don't know what's going to happen, but shit is happening. My concern is that the government knows this, right? Because there are scientists out there that are saying that, hey, this is happening. And they're getting really restricted and shut down. This makes me think that the government knows, and it's one of the reasons they're trying to shut down populations, because they are trying to shut down populations. I mean, I think the whole COVID thing was I never got the shot. Because I don't get the shot for flu or anything else, because I'm healthy, but I've never gotten sick in my life. Like flus and colds don't affect me. The only health problems I've ever had is I've like broken my shoulders. I mean broken them. I tore the tendons loose, right? I've torn the tendons loose from most of my body at one time or another. I got hit by a car on my motorcycle, rear-ended, tore all the ligaments in my spine, that kind of thing. That I've had happen to me, and that's caused me all kinds of issues. But like colds, flus, shit like that, I've never really got. I worked retail most of my life, so I get all the germs, and it's never bothered me. Anyway, so I mean, the whole thing with the COVID thing is, I was like, I don't get it, so I'm not gonna. And then I have friends who work um, in nursing, and so they got COVID, and eventually I got it. It was like 2 days of having a bad cold that gave me a headache. That's me getting it. Who has a really strong immune system? Grew up on the farm, you know. So really strong immune system. It was not that bad for me. I'm sure it must be horrible for people who, you know, grew up with helicopter parents who never let them have any germs in their life. But these things are probably what's going to kill me. But I'd say the rum, but I really hardly even drink anymore. Can't afford it. Fuck, Canada is so expensive for everything. You know, the only reason I can eat meat is because I live in the country, right? I live out in the country. I can buy half a cow for $700. Well, you know, I buy half a cow once a year. I've got beef most of the year. This year I got deer. Um, I didn't get my moose tag, which sucks. Moose tag will give me 2 years of meat because it's 800 pounds of meat. Um, I'm going for my elk tag this year because they're allowing elk hunting this year. But I mean, even if I don't get that, like we can hunt rabbits, pigs. Well, oh, wild pigs. Well, they're starting to come up here. Problem with wild pigs is they only come out at night, and we're not allowed to hunt at night. It really sucks because I watch them through my night vision and go, ah. But next year, um, right, the sun changes all the time. Hey, Mr. Knives. Yes, I know. Switches. You know what we used to do as kids is we would shoot each other with pellet guns because everybody had a pellet gun. We would have pellet gun wars because nobody thought about like getting shot through the eye. It was just like make the other guy scream. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Knives? But anyway, yeah. So I've been eating coyote. Coyotes are terrible. It's really not good meat. If you cook shit out of it, though, it won't make you sick. But I mean, coyote meat's better than no meat. I really am not crazy about rice and shit. I got like a giant bag of wild rice a friend of mine traded me for some ammo. And wild rice sucks. It's really hard, even if you boil the shit out of it. It's still, you know, what are you going to do? It's Canada. I miss fruit, though. That's what I really miss from being in Arizona. Arizona, you go there and the people just give you oranges. We're going in the RV park and going in there, and there's a big fucking pile of oranges, and I'm going, what's with the oranges? And they go, oh, you take as many as you want. And I was like, oh yeah. I lived on oranges for 3 days because you know it was free and it was oranges. Yeah, well, I had a 22 caliber pellet gun. It wouldn't actually penetrate that well. I remember getting my buddy's younger brother. He was like 7, so we used to make him put a skidoo suit and a skidoo helmet on and run through the bush, and we'd shoot at him for fun with the pellet guns. because it was fun. And he'd tell us when we hit him, and then we'd go, all right. Hey, you go. Yep. But see, I never had like I got one of those pump guns later. Um, but yeah, when I was younger, it was like a brake barrel, and that thing worked just as well. Especially if you dieseled it, eh? Put some oil in the chamber. Man, that thing would smoke. I used to be able to like blow a gopher's head off. I usually wouldn't do that when I was shooting my buddy's little brother, because that'd just be mean. Do you guys want to go outside? All right. I gotta let my dogs out. I'll be right back. All right, guys. Come on. Good God, Mike. Get off your fur on. Guess I was a little bit late. The dogs were so anxious to get outside, they damn near took me outside without them, with them. Like, honest to God, I live in a mobile home trailer, and going down the hallway, the dogs do not fit past me. So when I open the door and they go out the door, I'm lucky if I stay standing. But they're good. They're good kids. Yeah, me too. When I was a kid, I was like, oh man. When I was 18, I was I was like this far from being, you know, spending the rest of my life in prison. Oh, puppies are the best. I love my dogs. I mean, that's what keeps me going, right? Every time I get a new dog, it's like, damn it, now I gotta live another 10 years. Remember when I was uh, still married, my I used to make that joke, right? Like, this cat when he dies, it means after that I can die, kind of thing. Right? You know, and so my kids went and got me a snake that lives 35 years. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm going to be 90 before I die. But I had to give Freddie up because snakes don't travel. Yeah. Dude, when I was like in my 20s, I was nuts. I was gonna fucking die. I was gonna I don't know. I was right there. It was you know, you're either gonna spend the rest of your life in jail, or in jail, out of jail, and then do another crime. And I'm not talking like light duty crime, like stealing shit. I never liked stealing shit, but payback, that was my thing, right? And yeah, it was like, oh, my hero when I was younger was Frenchie from the Angels. Because he was a little guy. He was a little guy who got respect. But yeah, he was not a nice person. Well, that's where I was. But, you know, got turned around. Hey, nice. See you, buddy. Yep. I think I've always given my I've always given my ex credit for keeping me out of that. Well, I'd already kind of got away from it because I knew where I was going, and like after I got out of the can, it was like, nope, not going back there. And yeah, I was like, no, I'm gonna be I'm just not going back there. That was my big thing is I'm not going back there no matter what. Um, which meant either you're dead or. And I met my ex and we hit it off, and man, somehow, and then I went to university and took history, which was the stupidest thing. It wasn't stupid. I mean, I'd always been interested in history, so got really into history and then a couple years of university, and then realized like, man, I can't afford to do this. It was costing me a fortune. Like I was going full time to university and then working full time in a lumber yard, and I was like, I can't do this. And the lumber yard paid well. It was unionized, which was kind of unusual. But yeah, so I spent the next 30 years at a lumber yard, and then when my body gave out, my shoulders, I had to get both shoulders rebuilt because they tore them both apart. And before that, I had other like blew my back, um, double hernia, all that kind of crap. I went through all that, got all those surgeries, and after the shoulders blew out, I went, no, I'm done. I'm retired. And my plan was, get a backhoe or something and just do something else. Hey, bud, cat's here now. And yeah, that's when she fucking threw me out and divorced me. And I was like, what the fuck? And then my heart blew up. So I had a massive heart attack. I was moving boxes, well, I was boxes and guns. She told me she'd, call the cops and say she felt uncomfortable with me being in the house with all my firearms. And I'm like, what the fuck? That just means they're going to either take my firearms or I have to get out of the house. So I'm like, I'm not losing my guns. So I left the house. But yeah, that was like fucking shitty part, man. 30 fucking years. Two kids. It was shitty, but now I'm just like, well, I didn't pay attention to her. I should have seen it. Like my kids have told me afterwards, like they saw their mother just like losing interest in me and starting to get you know I didn't. I had no fucking clue. Because I was just like, okay, this is our life, right? Uh, this is what it is. But apparently I was wrong. Or somehow. Anyway, it doesn't bother me now. It actually doesn't. I mean, I lost my pension, lost everything else, but I don't care. I'm still pretty happy. That's funny with men, eh? It's like, okay, I got food, I got a roof over my head. I'm okay. Especially, I look, a bunch of stupid animals. Like, that's my cat. Oh, get up here. That's Bear. I've had him forever. He's like the Bear too, actually. I don't know the Bear, but yeah, he's just a big, and he's a barn cat. Like, yeah, I've never paid for a pet. I'm always giving them as I'm rescuing them. He wasn't really a rescue. It was just a barn cat. They said, you want a cat? And I was like, yeah, okay. And he's exactly the same color as my old Bear cat that I used to have. So I just called him the same name. Yeah, well, you know what? We both got beards, right? He's such a like. This is a cat that spends his whole life outside, basically. He comes in once in a while, usually at night. Like 2 in the morning, I'll hear him outside. Meow, meow. I'll let him in. He'll come and go to bed. Like come to bed, lay next to me and purr. But then he spends his days outside killing things. You lunatic. He really is the best cat. And like he lives with giant dogs, right? It's hilarious. You watch him playing with the dogs, and all you hear is yipe, 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 because he doesn't take shit. You enjoying that? Oh, lunatic. But I don't know. Cats are weird. Go on. I actually have 4 tires sitting in my living room because I've been doing the tires on my car, and I don't have a shop. It really sucks not having a shop. I've my whole life since I've been a little kid, I've had a shop or a big garage. I mean, uh, in my house in Saskatoon, I built a big garage. Hey man, see you, bear guy, man. You take it easy. Well, I've had a big garage. Now I have nothing. It really sucks. I did the brakes on my truck in the dirt. That sucks. Anyway, I'm gonna close this off. Night, y'all. Appreciate anyone who came to watch this stupid video. But Thank you if you did. I don't know. Maybe I should go a little longer. It's really hard to see because I got a big screen over here hooked up to a little screen over here, and that's where the camera is. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching this. I'm gonna try to do at least one of these a month, and listen, I'm just a regular guy living in southern Canada right now. I'm actually so close to the border, about 15 minutes to America. Part of the reason is I think it may be I may have to run to America. This government we have here in Canada is so dangerous. They're so socialist. I don't know that the next one is going to be a whole lot better. They promise to be, but I feel like the communists may be taking over here. America, wake up. You have to look at what's happening here. Justin Trudeau is the biggest threat to America that you've ever seen. He is a terrible man, and he is going to bring hellfire on you if you let him. He is bringing the Chinese in. He's supported Hamas. He hates democracy. He hates freedom. He's a horrible man. Anyway, guys, if you can support freedom, please sub to me or support me. I don't know, somehow. Because it's getting tough here. It really is.